This is the Slither Sisters, Chapter 8. Miss Lavinia explained that she was born Claudine Tillinghast at 10:25 a.m. on April 12, 1945. Her twin brother Crawford had been born just 7 minutes earlier. The children grew up in Tillinghast's mansion. For years, they were the best of friends. It was a wonderful house back in the old days, she explained. Warm, cheerful, full of light. My brother and I spent our days reading books and playing hide and seek, but everything changed after Crawford left for college and discovered his research. As a young man studying physics, he pioneered a unique theory of alternate dimensions. Crawford believed there were worlds within worlds, invisible lands, he called them, occupied by ancient and powerful beasts. His classmates called him crazy. Even his professors mocked his wild ideas. Eventually, Crawford became so disgusted he dropped out of college. Claudine was the only person who never lost faith in him. When Crawford returned to the family house, he used all his money to build a laboratory in its basement, and I became his lab assistant, Miss Lavinia explained, because I was the only person who believed in him. For years, they worked together in the laboratory, searching for invisible lands without success. The days were long. They rose at dawn and worked for 12 hours or more. Crawford constructed dozens of outrageous machines, and Claudine worked alongside him, testing the devices and taking detailed notes. There were no vacations or holidays or times for anything resembling fun. Crawford only had time for research. He was obsessed. And then one morning, something incredible happened. Miss Lavinia continued. Crawford sent me to the beach to collect some tidal pool specimens, sea stars, anemones, barnacles. We were always running experiments on them. But that morning there was another man on the beach, the handsome man I'd never met. You'd have to forgive the cliche, but it was love at first sight. Soon Claudine was spending all her time with Warren Lavinia, a marine biologist who worked at the Dunwich Marine Museum and Lighthouse. They spent many wonderful hours together in a tall tower overlooking the rocky coast. Such a sunny and cheerful place compared to Tillingham's dank, dark basement laboratory. When Crawford learned that his sister was marrying Warren and leaving the lab, he was furious. He refused to attend her wedding, and he replaced Claudine with a team of scientists and their families. He called my marriage a betrayal. He said his work was more important than any silly romance. I tried to make amends, but he never forgave me. Then came the infamous fire, in which Crawford Tillinghast and 17 other people lost their lives, or so he thought. For 30 years, I was happily married while Crawford was trapped in the Ultraverse. But now that gates are open, my brother is having his revenge. He kept me enslaved. I clean his rooms. I prepare his meals. I serve his disgusting beasts like their royalty. At night, I sleep on a cold stone floor. She paused to check her wristwatch. And if I leave Tillinghast or the school for more than an hour, he will send his monsters after my husband and kill him. That's not fair. Can we stop him? Glenn asked. I honestly don't think it's possible, said Miss Lavinia. With the gates open, he can access our world at will. He can capture students one by one and replace them with monsters. He's amassing an army like nothing the human world has ever seen. Even with all our weapons and computers, I don't think we're any match for it. Our best hope is to slow him down, to buy more time. I'm here tonight to ask for help. Of course we'll help, Robert said. Totally, Glenn said. We don't want to be stuck in jars for the rest of our lives. We'll do anything. Excellent, Miss Lavinia said. We need Robert to run for president of student council, and he needs to win. The election is Friday, so you'll have to work quickly. At precisely that moment, Pip and Squeak came racing out of the kitchen, tracking salad dressing all over the linoleum floor. Robert grabbed a roll of paper towels and ran after them, wiping up the tracks. Once he had finished, the rats hopped onto the sofa and nuzzled their heads into Miss Lavinia's belly. Robert expected her to be horrified, but instead she just scratched her pets behind their necks, like she was greeting baby kittens. You're such a cutie pie, she whispered. Can we go back to what you said earlier? Robert asked about student council. Miss Lavinia nodded. If Sarah wins the election, she will control the student body. And if she controls the student body, then it's only a matter of time before she literally controls the students' bodies. Do you understand? Why me? Robert asked. Can't we help Howard Mergler win instead? Miss Lavinia shook her head. I have seen student councils come and go for 30 years. Mr. Mergler has good ideas and honest intentions, but he has no chance of beating Sarah Price. How about Glenn? I'm afraid Mr. Torkles is ineligible. Too many discipline infractions. This was a polite way of saying that Glenn had a history of getting in trouble. At the previous school, he held the record for most detentions in a single year. I wish I could help, Robert said, but I have no idea how to run for president. It's very simple. Tomorrow morning, you go see Mr. Loomis. He's a faculty advisor for student council. You ask him to put your name on the ballot, and I'll take care of the rest. But I can't win, Robert insisted. I'm not a leader. Well, I'm afraid you're going to have to become one. Slither Sisters, Chapter 8.